Hello everybody, my name is Crumpytoast. Welcome to the start of our LA Angels franchise series here on MLB The Show 24. This is going to be our entire 2024 year sim. This is just so we're caught up to real life. Since the season's almost over, might as well get a jump start on things since we are starting kind of late. And this video is going to be quicker than most and a bit, compressed. This is just because we know what the Angels look like in real life. This is the real life team. We know about the players. We don't need a recap or just a spotlight on them. It's not a very good team, and we're really just trying to get through it. So basically, we're just going to be putting a spotlight on the important parts of the season. That's mainly going to be the draft and the off season, and we're not going to be spending too much time at all, really. So let's just go straight to it. So, like I said before, I did give season-ending injuries to all the players in the league that do have season-ending injuries, and head fracture was just the quickest one, so yeah, everyone got a boo-boo. So, as we super speed up to the draft, I wanted to go over a concept I realized I forgot to introduce in my introductory video, and that is the spreadsheet. So, I will be documenting every single series of my franchise series, every season of my franchise series. Basically, that is going to be all these little tabs I have on a spreadsheet that details what they are. So like the finances, that's the contracts projected for the next 3 years, the end of year standings, all the trades that happened, the draft, all the all-stars, awards, playoffs, Hall of Fame, offseason, etc. So every single season will have a spreadsheet, and all these seasons for that individual team will be under a folder that'll have on a Google Drive that'll be in the description of every single video. So basically, for the Angels franchise, we'll have a 2024 sheet. This will basically just be a shell. I'm not going to fill it out for this year. This year's way too quick. But for normal years, we'll fill out everything. We'll fill out all the All-Stars. I did the draft for this year because it's kind of important. And we'll have all the trades. There are no trades in this one. I turned it off for this first season. And we'll see the playoffs, who won it, their team, and then all the award winners. So we'll be able to see, okay, 2024, Aaron Judge won MVP. He hit 333 and hit 62 home runs, crazy stat line, and we'll be able to see year to year the award winners. And speaking to where we are right now as a team, we are frankly in the midst of a rebuild. This is a very, very bad team. Most of the prospects from the farm system were called up already. We have terrible pitching, not a lot of good prospects, and we need to basically just accumulate talent. And that would mean trading away talent, and I am just admitting it now, I am very lenient to trade away Mike Trout. He is the Angel, so I don't really know where to go from here. But now we are actually at the draft. So this is the IRL 2024 MLB draft order. So the Guardians, Reds, and Rockies are picking in the top 3 again. Unfortunately, this means that those teams near the top of the draft are going to be, they're going to have a much better farm system than they normally would, and that's just simply because they had 2 drafts. They were top 3 in 2 consecutive drafts, both auto-generated and IRL, because the IRL prospects are in the game. And as you can see from the draft board, we did a lot of scouting this season, and we have a plethora of players to pick from. And I was using the spreadsheet to document prospects to see where they were, just so that nobody fell. I had the players listed, their position, their MLB rank, and then our rank in our scouting system, and then a couple notes on 2 of the players in particular. This is just to make sure nobody fell through the gaps and we got talent where we could get it. And I felt really confident about our board. I did really good with the scouting this season. There were a couple holes that I was a bit nervous about. We did scout a couple positions in particular, and that really just, depended on the strength of that position. And the Cleveland Guardians select Thomas Smoove first overall. So we had him as our 7th best player in the draft. Pretty high overall, pretty good potential, but definitely not number 1. Now, as for the Cincinnati Reds, they take Alvaro Muriel, a 21-year-old starting pitcher, and he is very similar to Thomas Smoove, but Muriel is 2nd overall in the class and 4th on the Angels board. So it could be a very good pickup. And then the Rockies at number 3, poorly run organization. They don't ever do anything. They actually take a unranked prospect, Marco Hinojosa. I'm just, trying to pronounce that as best I can. We had him on our board, and we were really hoping to get him in the later rounds because he wasn't ranked at all. And if you're noticing the difference in the A's logo, I did go ahead and move them to Las Vegas, and they take Daryl Bowers, who we had on our board, kind of hoping he would fall since he didn't go number 1 overall. And that is a in-division rival. And then the White Sox go Josh Crawford. The White Sox are potentially one of the worst teams of all time and are definitely in contention of being the worst. And then the Royals take Rich Bearden, center fielder. I mean, that's a pretty good value pick for the Royals. And then the Cardinals go Geoffrey Sable, first baseman from Pennsylvania. I liked him. I just didn't think he had first round hype. I mean, I would have taken it if he fell into the second round, but just got to take talent where it is. And then after looking at a couple players, I did end up deciding to go Andres Chavez. We had him number 2 overall on our board, but he was ranked 15th in the class. Now, we definitely could have gotten, or would not have gotten him if he fell, so we just went ahead and took him. I mean, it's fine to draft ahead of their value in the MLB because you can't actually trade picks. So you just got to stick and pick where you're at. And then the Pirates go Rene Acosta. Did not know much about him. Just did not draft or did not scout first base at all. And then Killian Bridges, starting pitcher to the Nationals. Crew McGahee to the Tigers. And just talking about the prospects that the Angels have called up in recent years, they got Nolan Schanuel on first base, and then Christian Moore on second. Christian Moore was drafted first round in the 2024 IRL class. So first and second are kind of filled for us. I don't know if those players will progress, to be good enough at the MLB level. That's really up to how they, progress in the franchise series. So I can't guarantee that those are franchise players at those positions. And then the draft after Crew McGahee is as follows. You don't really know these players, and neither do I. Richard Irwin, we were thinking about taking. He went to the Mariners, so we'll have to see how he turns out. But other than that, Zach Neto's playing shortstop for us. He is a good player, maybe the 2020 club in real life, but we'll just see how these players play in the MLB. And then other than that, really, there's not a lot to like. I mean, outfield, nothing. I mean, that is definitely going to be our focus for next year's draft. I mean, we took a starting pitcher first round in this one. So next year, we're going to have to be looking for an outfielder in the first round. And it's kind of hard to scout position players in the first round because you don't really know when they'll go, and you don't know if there is one that's going to be of enough value to take. And then Geraldo Delgado, the Mets pick, I was actually hoping for him to fall to the second round. I had him pretty high on my board, and he was a not ranked player, so I was a bit nervous about not ranked players going at this point. And the MLB draft is a lot different than the NFL and NBA draft. It's probably the least hyped out of all three. I know that the NFL draft is one of my favorite times of the year without a doubt. And the NBA draft is just so hyped because it's, it's compact. It's like 2 rounds instead of, how many for the MLB. And the MLB draft just does not have a lot of hype because the players selected are not going to be playing in the MLB for 2 or 3 years. Although recently, Schanuel, Paul Skeens, like these guys that have been selected first through 5 overall have been called up almost immediately. Now, in the case of the Angels, Schanuel was probably called up way too early, and that may end up affecting his development. I mean, he's currently on our MLB roster in the franchise at like a 69 overall, and that is just going to kill him. But they actually added incentive for MLB teams to call up their top-ranked prospects. Like, for instance, Gunnar Henderson and Corbin Carroll both got their team's draft capital. Like, they are the first 31st and 32nd overall picks, as you just saw when I flipped through it. They earned that because they were called up at the beginning of the year, so the team had incentive in the draft capital to promote their prospects and not mess with their service time. And since Gunnar Henderson and Corbin Carroll were both called up at the beginning of the year, and they both won the Rookie of the Years for their respective leagues, the Diamondbacks and the Orioles both got draft compensation. And then as we fill out the end of the first round, I really only document the first round on the spreadsheet, and then any players I see fit, really, like spoiler alert, Rufus Iden, a Mariners catcher, 57 overall, 97 potential. Like, that's the type of guy I'm going to put on the list. And then Dante Denny was actually someone I was really upset about going. I wanted him to select him with our second round pick. Now, we didn't have any competitive balance picks. I think that's from free agency. Whenever a player is offered a qualifying offer and signs with another team, then the team that offered the qualifying offer, i.e. their former team, gets draft compensation. This is basically to just award. I think it was created because like small market teams like the Brewers, Orioles, whatever, they would offer, or they would just lose all their free star players in free agency. Kind of butchered talking through that one, but you guys get what I mean. I mean, it's everyone's human. So looking at the players that we can take here, there were a lot of pitchers I liked. Tejada and Warren both had guaranteed potential. It was just who I liked more. But I did end up going with Reed Hoffman. Tavares was in contention, but it was definitely just Reed Hoffman. Looked like a lot better of a player. Didn't have as high guaranteed potential, but was still very high. And then, we went ahead and simmed until the next pick, and unfortunately Warren and Tejada went. Warren went to the Reds at pick 50, and then Tejada went to the Rangers at 64. So the competitive balance rounds are actually the 10 lowest revenue clubs and then the 10 smallest market clubs. And then the compensatory round is what I was talking about, where players that were offered draft capital or a qualifying offer were then signed to other teams, and then those teams they came from were given a compensation pick. So obviously this one for us is from Shohei Ohtani leaving. One of the Padres ones has got to be Juan Soto leaving. And we do end up taking Vladimir Tavares here and just sending straight to our next pick. Not that many rounds left. And we do have a number of players on our board. And I would like to get position players in this draft. We haven't gotten any yet. And we actually need a position player now. So Kurt McCann is on our board. But we actually do end up going with Milo Mays. He is guaranteed potential, so we're just not going to let that fall. We're going to go ahead and grab him. Might be a project player. And same thing for Kurt McCann. We're just sticking and picking what we know about here. And with our final pick, we go with Ken Singleton. And so to end the draft, I then went ahead and did a bunch of the spreadsheet stuff to grab all the players. I moved Jazz Chisholm to third base and Matt McLean over to third as well, just so that it would get them off the trade blocks. And then I went ahead and just did the, signing the draft picks, and then, we actually going to look at them right here. And boy, did we have a draft class. 98 potential, 94, 94, 87, 93, 93, and 81 potential players? Are you kidding me? This is the best draft class I've ever seen. So obviously we made out well in this one, and I'm throwing up the entire first round spreadsheet on the screen now just so you guys have a look. Thomas Smooth, 68 overall, 87 potential. Muriel, 67, 86. They were very similar. Hinuosa was 71, 86 potential. Darryl Bowers was a 70 overall, 92 potential, but we obviously made out with the best player in the draft, Andres Chavez, 73 overall, 98 potential. He will be MLB ready not next year, the year after, because I am not messing with their development just to have the Angels win 3 more games. Now, a couple of picks that did hurt me. Liam Warren was a 61 overall, 93 potential player, and then Dante Denny went to the Diamondbacks in their prospect promotion round. A right fielder with 61 overall, 91 potential, and then Scott Cummings, nice, third baseman with 88 potential. He was just on my board. That's probably why I just put him there. But yeah, we made out nicely. So moving over to the end of the season, these were some of the highlighted awards. Shohei hit 46 home runs. We kind of expected of him. Just going through the awards now, just very quickly. It is what it is. These awards kind of don't matter. I don't want to say they don't, but this is kind of a whatever season. I mean, it just doesn't feel authentic to me, but you know what? I'm just putting them here so that we can go back and, you know, if we really want to look at who won those awards in 2024, they're here, but I'm not going to document them on my spreadsheet just because I don't want to. And then after this, we will move quickly to sim the playoffs so that we can just do the off season and then get out of here. This is actually timed very nicely, if I do say so myself. So getting into the off season, Yankees, Twins, ALCS, Cubs versus Phillies. Phillies win 4-1, and they will be facing the Yankees. And then this game, or well, this series actually goes to a game number 7, and then we might as well just quick manage it. And then it put us on the Phillies, and the Yankees are going to go up early. So Garrett Cole got the Phillies out of a bases loaded jam against the Phillies. And this is kind of a pitcher's duel, but it is Ranger Suarez versus Garrett Cole. So, I mean, a lot of base traffic, and they are getting out of it. And then Ranger Suarez finally just decided to pull him. You could say that managing the Phillies has not helped because they just put up 5 runs. And the Yankees got off to a hot start against the bullpen, and the Phillies could just not recover. So the Yankees put up a insurance run and win 6-1. So just wanted to put this up really quickly. Justin Verlander retires, played 19 years, and is in the Hall of Fame. So moving on to the free agency class, it is as follows. Juan Soto, Jack Flaherty, Jeff Hoffman, Corbin Burns, Tyler O'Neill, just the top 5 guys. Teoscar Hernandez, Christian Walker, Willy Adames, Pete Alonso, and then other friends. I'm basically only going to add anybody to the spreadsheet if they're 82 overall or higher. There's basically just only ones worth attention, really. And I'm actually going to present the signings in an unorthodox manner. You'll probably realize why at the end of it, so let's just get into it. So the answer to that question is because these team signings are a little boring. So Soto, Flaherty, and Hoffman all decided to re-sign with their previous teams. Soto on an 8-year deal worth $308 million total, worth $38.6 a year. Flaherty got $22 mostly a year, and then Hoffman signed a 3-year deal worth $32 million total. Now, Corbin Burns and Tyler O'Neill are where it gets interesting. Corbin Burns signed a 6-year deal worth $104 million total, which seems very low for him, especially a player of his caliber. But considering Flaherty got a similar deal, I can't complain about it too much. Now, he actually signs with the Diamondbacks. And then Tyler O'Neill signed a 5-year deal worth $54 million total, and he went from the Red Sox to the Nationals. And then everyone else on this list relatively just signed back with their own teams. I mean, they got paid, but they just went back to their own teams, which is fine. I mean, really only Pete Alonso and Max Fried were the only other big jumps. Pete Alonso went to the San Francisco Giants, and then Max Fried went to play for the Yankees. Now, Santander did actually go to the Mets as well as Luke Weaver, so the Mets are making a big splash. Not investing the money in Pete Alonso, it could go either way, to be honest. He is 30, but that is a really cheap deal, so it really depends. And then Luis Severino went to the Braves, Trevor Williams went to the Cubs, Sewald went to the Orioles, and Danny Jansen went to the Cardinals. So this is going to be the lineup for the start of Season 2. Not that many changes. These players are relatively same, except for our DHs. We are going to have Ramon Urias against righties, and then Grichuk against lefties. Grichuk, an old friend, was an Angel after I believe the Rockies put him up on the waivers, and then the Angels claimed him. Didn't work out, so here he is. And then Max Kepler and Joe Adell are platooning in right field. I feel like that will just add a couple wins. And then we signed Leonardo Rivas. We actually got him off of waivers, I believe. He's going to be playing third base for us. Not that good at the plate, but very, very good defensively. And I don't know, it just feels like a cool move. So that is really it for this season. So that will wrap up the 2024 season, and next episode will be opening day of the 2025 season. Now, I didn't actually go over it in the video, but our upload schedule is going to be 1 episode per in-game month, excluding special events like the draft and such, and of course the off-season. Episode 1 is going to be opening day, episode 2 is going to be April, episode 3 is going to be May, and so on until the end of the season. This is just a good format so that we can get through these episodes quickly. So that is going to do it for this one. Let me know what you think about the video in the comment section below. Like and subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.